Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today I have a video idea that I am borrowing from another YouTuber friend of mine. I'm going to be talking about high maintenance makeup, and I got this idea from Samantha March. She recently did a video like this. She came up with the idea on her own, I believe, and she talked about all the makeup products that she likes, but they're so high maintenance that we don't reach for them as often, and I thought that that would be a great topic to do my own video on. As I was watching her video, I thought of a lot of products of my own that I consider high maintenance, so I thought that'd be fun to talk about today, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I will link Samantha's video and her channel in the description box if you have not already seen the video and you're not already following Samantha. I highly recommend it. She is an amazing YouTuber, one of my favorites, and also one of my friends. I have collaborated with her in the past, so make sure you check her out. As I was watching her video, I came up with a ton of ideas of products of my own that I like. I just don't reach for them because they're challenging to work with. They're annoying, you know, like they look great on the skin, so I'm not decluttering them, but I also don't use them as much as I should because they're too hard to work with for whatever reason. And before we get into it, I would like to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I post videos at least twice a week, so make sure you have those notifications turned on as well so you don't miss any of those. Give this video a thumbs up if you like this idea, and let's jump right into it. First product that came to mind is actually one that Samantha talked about in her video, so I'm not going to talk about that very long, but that is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. That was like the first product that came to mind as being high maintenance, you know, one of those ones that are beautiful and a good product, but really kind of a pain to work with. Again, she talked about that, so go watch her video for all of the points that she makes about those products. The next one that came to mind right after the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows was the Too Faced Melted Lipsticks. These are melted liquid lipsticks, liquefied, long wear, good God. I have quite a few, as you can see, and I actually have quite a few more, but I didn't feel like digging them all out. These are a beautiful product. I really like these, and I've talked about these a lot. Obviously, I like them. I have so many. I purchased all of these myself. The thing is, I don't reach for them anymore. The only ones that I reach for are the ones that have the unique colors that I don't already have. For example, Melted Chihuahua is this really pretty nude, pinkish nude, and the other one that I love is Fig, Melted Fig. This is beautiful. I'll swatch these for you. So as it says, these are a liquid lipstick. They don't dry matte though. They're very, very glossy, and that's part of why they're hard to work with. So that pigmentation is amazing. I mean, this is Melted Fig. This is probably one of my all-time favorite lip products in general. I love that color. I think it looks good on everybody too. I love how it looks on my skin tone, but it looks good on really fair people as well. So it's a good one. And then this is Melted Chihuahua. So the thing is, so first of all, there's the applicator. As you can see, this is very, very messy, and it's this like kind of spongy, almost fuzzy applicator tip that looks pretty disgusting. I don't know how you could really clean that completely, so there's that. And then when you apply it on the lips, it's not very precise. It's hard to get within the lines. It's hard to get a precise application. You almost have to take out a brush and like dip it on the applicator and apply it, and then even once it's on, it will leak if you don't have your lips prepped in the right way. So I like to use a lip liner, or even like a clear lip liner that I know e.l.f. makes one, Milani makes one, that you kind of line your lips and then it keeps the product inside from bleeding onto your lips. Otherwise these can tend to do that. They get on your teeth really easily too. So it's a beautiful product, like really nice. It just is really hard to work with, and like I said, I have a ton of shades. These are the only two shades I really ever use because it's so hard to work with. Another product that I want to talk about is another one that I really like, but I barely ever use it. I've barely used it since I first got it. This is the Nars Dual Intensity Eyeshadow Palette. I don't think this palette is available anymore, but you can buy the Dual Intensity shadows separately. I just remember when the Dual Intensity shadows came out, everybody was raving about them. I was looking at swatches and they look so beautiful, so I really wanted to try them. And then this palette came out and I was like, well, that's the perfect opportunity for me to try them. And I almost have put this in a disappointing products video, or like a products I regret buying video, but I don't really regret it because they are really pretty. There's just something about them that I never reach for this palette. Just for whatever reason, these are really hard to work with. So I'm gonna swatch them for you and I'll show you guys. Like, I don't know if it's just me or what, but I cannot get them to look as pretty as other people do unless I use a wet brush. And that's why they're high maintenance, because I have to use some kind of a setting spray or whatever on my brush in order to get these to work. And even then, sometimes they don't work, and if you get too much, then they get cakey on the eyes. I don't know. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you've tried the dual intensity shadows, do they work for you? How do you get them to work? I mean, to me, right now, these just look like average eyeshadow swatches of something I could swatch at the drugstore. And this baby was not cheap. This was, I want to say, like $80 or something crazy like that. I know my husband got it for me as a gift, but it was not cheap. So I feel like it should be more than that. But like I said, with a setting spray, they are really pretty. It's just kind of a pain to work with. And it's not just that you have to use a setting spray, it's that you have to use a setting spray and you have to use just the right amount and place it just in the right way. Otherwise, it's going to look cakey or too sheer. It just doesn't look special. Do you know what I mean? So that is this one. Too high maintenance for me. Plus the packaging's all dirty. The next product I want to talk about is the Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. I did receive this for free from Influencer for a review, and I really loved this. I mean, I gave it a review, I loved it, I raved about it, but I never reached for it because, okay, so here's the packaging, and you can even see, I think I have a little bit of foundation on there right now, but it's this beautiful, like, gold highlighter, but it has flecks of silver and gold and pearl. It's just so beautiful, and I feel like it's so good for any kind of skin tone. The problem is the packaging. So I think the only way that you could ever dab this on your face like that is if you didn't have any foundation on or anything, because as soon as you do this with foundation on, whatever's on your face is going to get on here. And same with the brush. If you use a brush, as soon as you've put the brush on your face once, it's going to pick up that powder or foundation or whatever, and it's going to go on your brush, and then your brush will transfer it onto here. So I found myself really not using this. I feel like the finger is the only way that you can really use this. I don't know why I just swatched it again, but I feel like the finger is the only way you can really use this, and you know, then you're getting your fingers dirty and you're sticking your fingers in your makeup, which is always annoying. So I don't reach for this as much as I should because it's kind of a pain to work with. Again, a really beautiful product. I just don't reach for this very much because it's too much work. Next, I have a skincare product to talk about. This also was sent to me free for review. This is by Dermalogica. This is their Daily Superfoliant. This is another one that I enjoy. I think it's a really cool concept. I think it's a really nice product, but I never use it because it's too much work. So after you've removed your makeup and cleansed your skin, then you're supposed to use this. And the way that you use it is you have to get your hands wet. This is a powder, so you have to open it, obviously. Shake the powder into your wet hands. Put the cap back on. Then rub your wet hands together to make kind of a paste and rub it onto your face, which is also supposed to be wet. Your face is supposed to be wet. And then you rub it together, and it's supposed to be this like charcoal exfoliating thing, and I do enjoy it. I really do. I did a video on it. I like it. Don't get me wrong, but I never use this in my skincare routine because it is too much of a pain to use. Just remembering to like have my hands wet and my face wet. Usually right after I cleanse my face, I dry my face. So I have to remember to have my face wet, and then I have to remember to have my hands wet, and then to try to like finagle with it and get, you know, the cap back on and everything. I just don't use it. It's just too much work. I don't use it. Next, I have a foundation to talk about. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Stick Foundation. This is one that I pulled out of my collection recently when I did my products I never use video, where I did like a full face using products I never use in my collection, and I kind of pulled it out and forced myself to use them again. And I fell in love with this foundation again because I really like how it looks on the skin. The thing is, it's really hard to work with. It's very, very dry. And when you put it on the skin, it really tugs at the skin. I don't know. And I feel like a stick foundation, it has to have just the right level of creaminess and not creaminess, I guess, so that it sits into the skin so it's not too greasy looking on the skin, but it has to apply well. So this doesn't quite hit that mark, unfortunately. I think part of the reason is that this does dry down to a pretty much matte finish, which is a finish that I like, but that's what makes it a little bit drier. So the only way that I use this, which I've seen a lot of other people do, is to take a lighter and hold this over the lighter, let it get a little bit melted, and then apply it to the skin. You don't hold it over very long, like half a second, and then apply it to the skin, and then just kind of buff it out with a buffing brush. That is how I use this foundation. Again, that's kind of a lot of work to apply a foundation, to have a lighter on hand and light it on fire, but you know, that's what works. I'm probably not going to repurchase this, but I am going to continue using it just because I do like the foundation. It's just really, we have to light it on fire. Really? So I want to talk about an eyeliner. These are the Arbonne liquid eyeliners, and these are so strange to me. I love the formula, but the applicator is what makes it so strange. Now you can see that, so I would describe this as not really foam. Can you see that? Like, it's almost like felt, but it's not like hard felt tip. It's like, as you can see, it's like a soft felt, and it's super pigmented, super beautiful formula, like I said, but this tip is so weird. And I like that it has a give, because for lining like along my lash line, it's great, but when you want to make a wing, there's no way you can make a sharp wing. You can make a really thick wing, like a bat wing, but there's no way that you can make a sharp wing with this. So you have to go in with another brush. I have a bunch of little disposable brushes that I use, but because the tip is so weird, I can't get a wing out of it. So whenever I use this eyeliner, which is not very often, honestly, I have to use like a different brush to make the wing, and that's just really frustrating. So this has been sitting around in my collection for a long time because I don't reach for it. I also have one in brown, but you know, I really want to bring these out again. I'm gonna bring these out again. I'm glad I'm making this video because I want to use these products again, even though they're frustrating and they take a lot of work. I kind of miss them. Lastly, I have one more lip product to talk about. These are the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipsticks. Now, I know these are so popular and I love them too. I love her color selection. All of her products have a really great color selection, but I never reach for these anymore. And I only have two, which is probably a good thing. The shades I have are, this is Allison and this is Catherine. And I think one of these, this one, Allison, I think, was limited edition. I'm not sure, but I'll swatch them for you so you can see. But basically, so these are so beautiful, so pigmented, really awesome shade. The thing I don't like about these is when they dry down, they are so drying. I do like that they're transfer proof. That is a huge plus, you know, it's nice to have an option of a transfer proof liquid lipstick. However, these are so drying. One time that I wore these that stands out in my mind is we were going to a wedding or something and we'd stopped at my husband's parents' house. I was like freshening up. I put one of these on, like just put it on. 5 minutes later, he looks at me and he goes, "Wow, you must have had your makeup on a long time and your lips look really dry." And I was like, I literally just put this lipstick on. And I'm glad he said something because they did look really dry and like flaky and just terrible. And I had literally just put it on. So that's kind of how these are for me. You have to put a lip balm on under them. You can put something on top of them too, but you have to put a lip balm on under them, but you have to get the right ratio. Otherwise, these don't dry at all and they end up kind of moving around on the lips and just not looking that great. So unfortunately, these are too high maintenance, just a little too high maintenance for me. I don't think I'm going to be buying many more. Also, ColourPop is like a quarter of the price and has a really great color selection. They're always increasing their color selection, and they have their Ultra Satin, which I actually prefer to the Ultra Matte. Anyways, just saying, I don't think that these are absolutely necessary and they're way too much work. Alright guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Please tell me in the comment section what your high maintenance products are. I would love to know. And if you have any tips for how I can make these ones work, I would also love to know that. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys again real soon. Bye!